Hey guys, in today's video, I wanted to go over what I believe to be the best items to go for as a Demonology Warlock in ToGC. This will be the first items I'll personally prio when starting to gear in phase 3 on my demo lock, or for anyone who does a wish list and is just looking for a list of the best items in this phase. This isn't set in stone or anything, but rather just a list based off the biggest gains in terms of stats and DPS. This is also coming from being phase 2 BIS, which I know not a lot of us are, but I figured it'd be a good starting point. If you're lacking in one of these previous slots, then just know that you would probably prio that slot in phase 3 and trade for one of the ones I'm listing in this video. I'll use 80s upgrades for ease of seeing the stat gains over the phase 2, and the links to these will be in the description, as well as I'll link to phase 3 BIS right now on screen and in the description as well. Before we begin, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Nuck and Futz over in the Warlock Discord for spending hours going over this list with me. And as always, make sure to head on over to the Warlock Discord, your one-stop shop for anything and everything Warlock related. Also, please hit the follow button and a thumbs up. And lastly, I stream over on Twitch at twitch.tv/CrixVibes, where I raid on 3 Warlocks, one of each spec, as well as a ton of the hardcore challenge. Now this list will be for both support and personal DPS, as pretty much every piece is really strong for both. Okay, so some of these items are highly contested with other casters, which is why they're on the list. There's a couple phase 3 BIS items that are not that contested but are very strong. Using the BIS Cloak Bovar's Devotion for Alliance, or Lady Liadrin's, I don't know how to say it, Conviction for Horde as an example. This is one of the biggest upgrades that you can get. However, only Demonology Warlocks want this. Therefore, I would prio it, but not prio it at first, if that makes sense. More on that later. As for the tier 9 set, it's very hard to work this into a prio because this is generally out of your hands and up to your raid leader and how they prioritize gear. Also, the 4 set really isn't that big of a deal for Demo. Yes, the 10% damage to Immolate and Corruption is good damage, and you do gain that damage. However, it's not needed for those of us that are there to support the raid with Demonic Pact. Not only that, but the tier 9 pieces aren't statted that nicely for us in terms of Demonic Pact either, with the gloves not even having Spirit on them, and the shoulders lacking much of the spell power gain since you're losing the socket on it in comparison to phase 2 BIS. The 2 set, however, is really nice. Giving our Felgar 10% crit not only boosts his and our damage extremely well, but it also gives more chances at getting your Demonic Pact procs. For this reason, it's highly suggested that you get your 2 set however you can, even if it means using the lesser 245 gear while waiting for your 258 Regalia tier 9. A side note about gearing in phase 3, while we won't have any hit problems in the long run, as there's tons of gear in this phase with hit on it, you may find your hit bouncing around a lot while you're gearing or waiting for your full phase 3 BIS. If you find yourself getting a strong upgrade in phase 3, but it causes you to lose some hit that was on your phase 2 piece, you can make up the hit with some phase 2 gear like Frozen Loop, Shimmering Seal, Sash of Ancient Power, and Pulsars. These would be worth to swap on and make up the hit if you get one of those big pieces that we're listing. So if you find these in the raid and nobody wants them right now, it could be smart to swoop them up and toss them into the bank. You never know if you could use them on a rainy day. So the first thing I'd prio is tier 9 chest. This is the best upgrade that you can get. You gain 28 spell power, 94 spirit, 28 stamina, 35 intellect, and 16 hit in comparison to the phase 2 BIS. No matter how your guild does tier, I believe this should be proud to the demo lock, simply because it brings 8 to 9 spell power to your entire raid via Demonic Pact. As for the second piece of tier 9 to obtain your 2 set, you have shoulders, which brings you 10 spell power, 20 spirit, but you lose a socket. Gloves at 19 spell power, 68 hit, but you lose a socket. Or helm, which is what I would suggest, with 2 spell power, 6 spirit, 15 crit, but socket bonus brings 9 spell power. So you actually get 11 total spell power with the helm. The next item I'd say to prio is the Soothing Touch legs. These are a massive upgrade that thankfully isn't too contested. You gain 11 spell power, 42 spirit, 16 haste, 25 stamina, 25 int, and a socket. You'll be wanting to get these as fast as you possibly can. The next 2 items are a little extra. Cloak and Offhand. Both of these should be proud, but they're also only BIS for Demonology. Either way, don't let anyone else get their hands on these, as they're very good upgrades. Even the phase 4 BIS cloak from ICC is barely an upgrade over this cloak. The next thing I'd prio is belt. This is a highly contested item, which is why it's on the list. You gain 9 spell power and 3 spirit with this belt, making you able to squeeze out some juicy demonic packs, as well as get a decent personal gain in terms of damage. Last on this list of prio is one of the weapons. I say one of them because which one you use depends on your current hit situation, and more importantly, which one your raid gives you. No matter the choice, they're both amazing weapons, and you should be very happy with either of them. With the Tarisk, I don't know how to say that word, Tarisk dagger, you gain 27 spell power, 57 haste, and 7 hit over Starsar's Edge. With the sword, however, Blade of the Unbroken Covenant for Alliance, or Mortalis for the Horde, you gain 36 spell power, 39 haste, and 58 crit, while losing 44 hit. If you get the sword, please note that you'll be losing some hit, but you can easily make that up with any of those strong phase 2 BIS items I mentioned a few minutes ago. If you get the dagger, it allows you to not only keep the hit from Starstar's Edge, but you gain 7 more, allowing you to substitute hit from another slot if needed. The reason these are lower than the rest is because you are losing 49 spirit on both of them, which equates to roughly 30 spell power, so you're not gaining much demonic pact. Well, that's it for this one. I just really wanted to give you my input on which items I think are the best and most important to aim for in phase 3 on my Demonology Warlock. I hope this helps you prepare for ToGC. If you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up on the way out and following the channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. Feel free to stop by the stream if you have any questions or just leave them in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one.